So, why are you qualified? I have some exciting news for you. I don't care what others have told you, and if they haven't resonated with what I'm about to tell you, I want you to consider the idea of not listening to others who might not have your best interests at heart. You might be surprised to discover at this event that you are more qualified than an Ivy League graduate to teach. That's right. Today, you're going to discover why you are so qualified and learn what sets you apart from other classically trained instructors, and come to realize that this, you're accepting your call to train and help others, may be a part of your life's journey and can not only be a part but possibly the main reason for your being here. Helping and teaching others may be your purpose in this life. See, everyone that comes to this planet comes with a unique purpose, message, passion, and mission in life. When you embrace the idea that you have come here with sacred purpose, you can approach life differently, take a more active role in your life, having huge impact on the way your life unfolds for you, and live a better life, your best life, and make the world a better place. If you search within yourself, you have an inner knowing that there are some things that when you do them, that they come easily to you, and they may not come easily to others. You'll also find that people are attracted to you, to ask your advice on things, and these are not just clues. They are your higher self, that part of you that knows you have a mission, attracting your sacred work to you, which is your calling. Regardless of the life you've lived or didn't get to live, and in spite of the drama or trauma you've endured, your calling remains the same. And this is that part of you yearning to come out. Then there's those things that turn you on, light you up brighter than the sun. They're the things that you're supremely passionate about. Some activities that you engage on are actually fun. In fact, time just seems to not exist when you're doing those things that resonate with you, as well as those things that you're passionate about. You achieve the greatest degrees of personal satisfaction in the doing of those things. All of this indicates that you have huge potential. That is, you can line yourself up with your calling. And that's what we're doing here. Not only will you achieve a greater sense of doing the right thing, feeling satisfied that you're being true to yourself, even if you've second-guessed yourself, as so many of us do, but you can enjoy financial rewards by following the call and achieving your highest and best. I'm David M. Masters, representing St. Paul's Free University, and today we're putting the naysayers on notice, including those voices inside of you that keep you from rising to achieve your highest and best. There are those who secretly do not want to see you succeed, and they'll whine, complain, and try to tell you that you're not worthy, do not have what it takes, you're undeserving, don't have an expensive education, or a family name that commands respect everywhere you go. So you're not good enough. And what you're hearing when people try to block your special gifts and abilities is not even about you. It's about the social programming which they and their parents have been exposed to since birth. And you can't blame them for that, because the rich and successful people don't want you encroaching on their quality of life. They see you as servants, put here on this earth to do their bidding. And most of us fall for it every time. But you are awakening. If only for a moment, you will start to see that things are not always as they appear. Inside you is a teacher who longs to reach out and help others. Who better to help them than someone like you who's actually been there? You don't get your education out of a book. No, you know what works and you know what doesn't work the hard way. Think about it. Who would you rather learn from? Someone who's leading you through the course material to get a paycheck? Or someone who knows the material better than anyone from the inside out? I know what you mean. I took a college business class from a math teacher. That was brutal. Not that the math teacher wasn't qualified. He had impressive degrees and tenure, but he had no real experience in the field of business. From that point on, I knew it made a difference, so I sought only to take classes from teachers who were the most qualified. And the most qualified does not mean the most educated. If so, your life would not make sense until you embrace your teaching mission. No experience necessary? Okay, let's say you've gone to college and received your degree, which authorizes you to teach a college course. You are authorized to teach students anything you know nothing about. Anything you now have experience with personally using the textbook selected by the college you're working for. Now don't get me wrong. I have a huge respect for academics and academia. I mean no disrespect here. I'm just saying that I, taking responsibility for my own education, if given the option, would rather take a course or a class from someone with real experience with the topic at hand. I have such a thirst for knowledge that you might just find me studying the same topic with 2 different instructors so that I can get a full spectrum understanding of the topic if I'm truly intrigued by the topic or feeling somewhat passionate about the subject. So you might not need experience to teach. And thank God we have teachers that are capable and willing to teach subjects they have no experience with, because we, those who want and need access to this data and information that we would not otherwise have access to, can learn about these things. So if you're a formally trained educator, God bless you. But today we're talking about a different kind of teacher. Those who are qualified either by experience or sacred calling, who may not have been formally trained to teach others. In this respect, experience is absolutely necessary and qualifies you in ways that no one else could possibly learn from a textbook or college course. This is for you. I'm talking to you right now. You have experience in a particular topic that no one would have unless they've lived the life that you've lived and experienced what you have. And there's very little chance of that. At this moment in time, you do not have a certificate from a university authorizing you to teach the subject which you are clearly an expert on. And you're not having this single piece of paper is preventing you from going forth and sharing your message with the world. And if you decided to forego the certificate and answer your calling anyway, oh my God, here comes everyone you know, trying to dissuade you from answering the call. You're not qualified. You're not a teacher. You didn't go to school. You're not worthy. For over 1,000 years, the university has been used as a method to separate academia from the working class. And no one would be more enthusiastic about using this method to determine the difference between these 2 classes of people than the academics. They'll be the first ones who attempt to disregard anything you might have to offer with a snide remark such as, "Who are you? Where did you go to school? You're nobody. You have no right to speak to this or anyone." While I, on the other hand, then they reveal a laundry list of qualifications, degrees, and certificates, which I guess are supposed to imbue them with the ability to put you down or kick you to the curb for their superior. And you, well, you're nothing. So it's up to you whether you'll decide to let them intimidate you and keep you from answering your call, fulfilling your life purpose, sharing your message with passion, and accomplishing your mission. It's up to you. And your path to fulfilling your sacred mission may include putting off going forth with your message until you've accomplished your formal training. While university was previously thought of as an institution for young minds, now many people are deciding to take the task of getting their credentials later in life. And they do so in an effort to feel as though they could be counted among those who are worthy to speak, teach, or share. At the very least, having formal training does quell the objection that you might be uneducated or unworthy. But you don't have to do that today. You don't need to spend the next 4 to 10 years at university to make you feel better about sharing your message. You've received your training from a higher source, the highest source, which far surpasses academia. You have spent your whole life up to this point in time training like a master student. You've been in the trenches. You know what it's like to look the devil in the eye and to find a way to survive in spite of those odds that may have been stacked against you. Experience is necessary. In fact, it's your unique experience and perspective which is invaluable and cannot be taught in any school. So what is your message? Okay, welcome back. You heard me talk about your message as if there was some divine assignment which was bestowed upon you by God to fulfill here on earth, and the system is doing everything it can to keep you from sharing that message with the rest of the world. And it's been so effective that you probably can't even conceive of what your message might be right now. Let me tell you. It's likely that there was a time when you knew exactly who you were. When you were very young, you knew who you were and that you had a purpose to fulfill to make the world a better place. But by the time you were 6 or 7, our sociological system beat it out of you. And by now you can barely recognize your calling at all. Well, today is the day you take your life back. The life that is your birthright, the life you've come here to live. Today you start fulfilling your life's purpose and sharing your message to help others and make the world a better place. Today you're going to honor your sacred call and start delivering your message, doing the work which you are uniquely qualified to do, and you're going to be making a difference in this world. But what is your message? Now, if you already know your message and you're in sync with your purpose, then hang on for a minute while we bring the rest of the class up to speed. For those of you who are having trouble understanding more about your message and your purpose, let's take a few minutes to get you synced up with your life's mission. First of all, you've spent your life training in the battlefield of life. So right here, right now, take out a piece of paper and a writing instrument. And those of you who are using tablets or computers, you can use them, but note the preference is to handwrite the following list. Draw a line down the middle of the page, and on the left-hand side of the page, make a list of all the drama and trauma episodes in your life that still leave a sore spot in the center of your stomach when you think of them. And for those of you who have already done this work, just go along through the process with us. You might be surprised to find that you uncover something new since the last time you performed this inventory. Write down life situations where you endured challenges, and today you find yourself, if not completely, for the most part, on the other side of the issue. Did someone make a promise to you? You trusted them and believed them, and then they stabbed you in the back? Write it down. Have you ever been victimized by someone who exerted power over you, intimidated you, or abused you? Write it down. Have you ever struggled with anything which you felt victim to, maybe substance abuse or self-sabotage? Has there been a time in your life when you've been your own worst enemy? What was that about? Write it down. Has there ever been a time when you felt like your whole world depended on you're doing this one thing and you dropped the ball? Write it down. Have you ever felt like a victim of injustice in the legal system? Have you been let down by your government? Have you ever felt like you've been betrayed by an organization or religious order? Write it down. Life is a battlefield. And you spent all this time training and fighting the battle. And if you think about it, you're surprised that you made it this far. I mean, anyone else who would have lived the life that you lived may not have made it this far. Why do you think that is? Could it be that you were divinely selected to help others who may be facing similar challenges in their life right now? Now, on the right-hand side of the page, across from your list of drama and trauma, create a positive affirmation about that episode. An example might be, in the left column, it says something like, I was a victim of sexual pressure from my boss. In the right-hand column, you might put something like, I survived and now possess knowledge and skills I didn't have before. Another example might be, I trusted my rabbi, priest, pastor, who lied to me, betrayed me, victimized me. The right-hand column might say something like, I now have a method to protect myself from abusive religious authority. You get the idea. And if you haven't made it all the way to the other side, consider what Richard Bach has to say. You teach best what you most need to learn. That's to say, hey, I don't have all the answers, but I will step out in faith, answer the call, and share what I've learned and continue to share new findings and learn from others while I am doing the work of recovering and helping others in the process. This is the beauty of organizations like the Anonymouses. I mean, they're not just for alcoholics. They serve people with challenges with drugs, sex, food, money issues, gambling, love seekers, low self-esteem, mental health issues, dysfunctional families, prescription meds, workaholics, obsessive behaviors, anger issues, cult members, and the list goes on and on. And all of these people are people helping people to the best of their abilities without judgment. People who have been there and hold a torch for others to find their way out of the darkness to the best of their abilities. It takes someone like you to start to do the work. And your work will grow as you reach out and help others in ways that are uniquely qualified just for you. For you. According to this list that you just made, you're an expert in these fields of life study. No one's saying that you have all the answers right now, but you can offer hope to those who are wondering if they can make it one more day under the same kind of pressure that you endured. You are the hero of your story and can be inspiration for others who are going down a path that is somewhat similar to yours. And if you can spread your message, in essence, sing your song, you'll find others humming along as you give them hope that maybe one day they too can be on the other side of this issue. You are amazing. When we come back, get ready to be empowered. Empowering you. Welcome back. Let's talk about your power. You have power within you which expresses itself every so often. So when do you know that you're operating in your power? You're in your power when you're involved in an activity that you're passionate about, when you're engaged in doing anything where you just sort of lose track of time. You know, those times when you're doing something and time just flies by. Everybody has some kind of activity which is a perfect vibrational frequency that matches who you are. And when you're there, you know it. In sports vernacular, they refer to this as being in the zone. When you're vibrating at your highest frequency and you're feeling powerful and even invincible. Okay, take out another piece of paper. Draw a line down the middle like we did in the last exercise. And at the top of the left-hand column, title this, Power. Start writing down all the activities that when you're engaged in them, the time just slips away and you know you're operating in your power. When you're operating in your power, everything is in alignment. Your physiology starts working at peak performance. Your brain chemistry is in sync with the subject at hand. Your intuitive resources kick in and you are focused and present in the moment. Now take a few more minutes to write them down. Okay, at the top of the right column, title it Abilities. In this column, you're going to list all the things that you do that come really easily to you. This is where you're going to write down your gifts and special abilities. Now, they might seem like they're no big deal to you, but to others who've seen you in action, those who've witnessed your results, to them, you are amazing when you do that thing that you do. It might be baking a cake, or like my friend Kelly, she makes the best fudge on the planet. Maybe you're a chef, and people think the meals that you create are pure magic. Maybe you're a prayer warrior, a healer, or someone who has a keen, intuitive spider sense that lets you know that something unpleasant could be coming. And because of your heightened awareness, you can avoid some of the bad things that happen to other people. Maybe you have a knack for scientific research, a thirst for knowledge. Maybe you're a Dr. Dolittle or a dog whisperer. You might be a number person who loves crunching numbers and evaluating statistics all day long. How are you with kids? Are you especially gifted in interacting with children and encouraging them to do their best? Do people come to you for advice? Are you a good coach, consultant, or counselor? Do you have natural abilities and extensive knowledge about herbs, spices, natural scents, and homemade remedies? What was the last time that someone praised you and said, "That was amazing what you did right there"? What was that thing? Are you into alternative energy? Are you a freedom fighter? Do you find it easy to make a stand or reach out to help the underdog? Does your compassion for others have you volunteering to help others who are suffering, may not have the resources to take care of themselves? Are you an animal trainer, interior decorator, designer, event organizer? Are you a lover, a matchmaker? Do your gifts and abilities include hobbies like weaving, woodworking, painting, photography, playing a musical instrument, writing poetry, songs, or music? Are you a good dancer? Are you comfortable in front of a camera or a live audience? Possibly a potential model, actor, public speaker? Are you amazing at solving or putting together puzzles, working word games, or solving brain teasers? Your gifts and abilities could include sports. Have you ever received a certificate signifying your award-winning competency? Write it down. Once you have this inventory of power, gifts, and abilities, you can see that you're far more qualified at so many things than so many other people. And we're here to certify that you are uniquely qualified to share your message and to help others through your teaching, training, and understanding of material, which is about you, the life you've lived, and the blessing you can bring to others. Now you're starting to realize that what looked like chaos, tragedy, and trauma in the past was all divinely orchestrated to bring you here, to this time and place, where you start supporting others, your community, and the world as only you can.
Good morning. I'm a Reiki practitioner and also intuitive reader. Before I launch into my talk though about intuition, I just want to give a quick thank you to St. Paul's Free University for putting on this event. I'm sure you guys will enjoy today. I always do enjoy our events. Intuition can be a valuable asset that protects us and keeps us safe when we're feeling most vulnerable. And perhaps you didn't know, though, that it could be a useful skill to have in business as well. We have a career business such as life coaching that brings us face-to-face with our clients or one-on-one. We may not think that intuition would be a good skill to have or use, or a tool that benefits both us and our client. We know that empathy, as David said, and compassion are important to have in life coaching, and it's a good, soft skill to have. But intuition can really help us in our business decisions, management, marketing plans, and also being able to market to and find our ideal clients that we can, best serve with our unique skills that we have. So by sharpening our intuition, we have the ability to really connect with our clients and their needs, and help them with their goals, and really reach and help them succeed, which is, a life coach's goal is to, watch our clients reach their dreams. So what exactly is intuition, though, and how do we define that? If you do a quick internet search, you'll see that psychology defines it as an ability to acquire knowledge without inference or the use of reason, which many of us, if you think of logic and reason, think of Mr. Spock, who's all about logic and reason. And, the science officer who's, second in command. Now, how many of you are familiar with the Myers-Briggs personality test? Okay. So, for some of you, maybe you've seen the memes, the different personality types on the internet. There's a couple examples. And here's the list, full list. Myers-Briggs, how they define intuition is an awareness of knowing that seems to come unbidden and cannot be logically explained. And for some of you that may not be familiar, the letters, what they stand for is the E stands for extrovert, the I stands for introvert. So it's testing these polar opposites to see where you fit in. So the S is for sensing, the I is for intuition, T is for thinking, F is for feeling, J is judging, and P is perceiving. So the medical definition for intuition is non-rational cognition, assumed knowledge, guesswork, or a hunch, which explains Captain Kirk, who, as we know, often goes off hunches besides logic and reason, but mostly hunches. I think what this shows is that in leadership roles, we don't just need logic and reason, but also compassion and intuition that makes the best leaders. That's why Captain Kirk is captain and Spock is second in command. So if we move away from main science and into away from mainstream and into metaphysical, I describe intuition as a natural knowing capacity, inner knowing, immediate apprehension of spiritual truth without resort or intellectual means or wisdom of the heart. So, for some people, they hear that as, maybe hippie stuff, or, let's, all gather around new agey stuff. So with those definitions of intuition, if it's described as knowing without logic or reason or wisdom of the heart, is it reliable? Well, in academia and in science fields such as medicine and psychology, they view intuition as an early development, part of our development at an early age. It starts around the age 3 to 5, and it can be affected by our environment and caretakers, and also by observing the behavior of others around us. We tend to mimic the actions of adults and other children at that age. And if any of you have school-age children, you probably noticed as soon as they start kindergarten and preschool that their behavior starts to change, and they
They're exposed to different personalities and behaviors, some good, some bad. So they are basically exposed to new ways of thinking too. So as my mom used to put it, the definition of brats are other people's kids. So I think that brings us to nature versus nurture. If science sees intuition as a development stage that we learn from our environment, I think this explanation of intuition really actually can be based on reason and logic. It's more like instinct than intuition, and lots of people confuse those two. I'm sure you've heard of the nature versus nurture debate, where our behavior, where does it come from? Why am I like the way I am? But I think the explanation of nature and nurture fits in with the development of our instincts as well, because it seems that both nature and nurture does affect our instincts. For example, with nature, we have these built-in skills into our DNA that helps us survive as species. Our brain takes in loads of information, and our subconscious filters them to decide whether or not we are in danger, and it keeps us safe. For example, if you've ever gone for a walk in the woods and all of a sudden you feel nervous and you notice that it's dead quiet, it's probably because all the animals went quiet because there might be a predator, or it might be an environmental threat like a storm coming or earthquake. So those kind of things help us with our instincts. So with nurture, that comes from the environment of how we were raised. As conditions we're raised in really helps to build on nature's instincts. For example, if I take two kids, one was raised in an area that was high crime and versus maybe someone who was raised in suburbia in safe neighborhoods, if they're both walking down a city street, both of them are going to be, perceptions are going to be completely and totally different. Their visual clues of what's safe and not safe are going to be different. So if they see someone who's kind of fidgety, maybe this kid from suburbia is going to get nervous, not feel safe, cross the road or find another route. But maybe the kid who was raised around that kind of thing will go and assess whether that person is just, an addict waiting for their dealer, or, maybe someone who's just going through a hard time, or, they're going to know whether that person's safe or not. And they're also going to know how to act, to be confident and show no fear and pass by. So that example of instinct is very different from intuition. So for example, intuition, how many of you have met a stranger and you just instantly connected and you were like best friends separated at birth? Or you met someone and you just knew this person, there's something off about them, I don't know what it is, but they're not safe. So that's a good example of instinct. So what are the types of ways that, or I said intuition, sorry. So what are some ways that intuition speaks to us? There's seeing, hearing, knowing and feeling. And for example, we'll have a sample question, what did my husband have for lunch today? And let's say it's McDonald's. So if you have a seeing intuition, you're probably going to see, the golden arches. So will come to mind. And if you're more hearing, you'll probably maybe hear the jingle. Other ways are like songs, that kind of thing. I don't know if you know Mr. Bean. So also another way is hearing. Sometimes before you even finish the question, you just know. It doesn't even almost form into a word. You just know. So, and then there is taste and smell, which I think is pretty rare. Not many people have this. So maybe you smell the French fries or taste the hamburger. You might get a sour feeling in your mouth. You might get a scent that you smell that's familiar to you. And then there's feeling, and this is often described probably more familiar to people, such as having a gut feeling. It could also manifest as sensations in your body, such as maybe a headache, the tightness in the chest or throat, or even emotions that seem to be unexplained and come out of nowhere that don't belong to you. So I don't know about you, but that's how I feel after McDonald's. So, sorry, talking makes me thirsty. So intuition versus fear. Sometimes, like I was talking about with those emotions, we feel fear, but how do we know it's actually intuition and fear? Because some people get those confused. So, for example, well, intuition, for one, is that tapping on the shoulder, and it doesn't really have an emotion attached to it. And like Dave was bringing up earlier, sometimes you can feel other people's emotions. So sometimes you have to decipher between what's yours and what's other people. And once you do, you still have to fight off, your own insecurities. For example, if you plan a vacation to go to Hawaii, and you're nervous about flying on the plane and you're scared, and maybe you're like, oh, maybe this is my intuition telling me not to get on that plane. But intuition would be more of a strong urge to maybe change your plans or find a different way. That would be more along the lines of intuition. So how can you build on your intuition if maybe some of you don't have built-in intuition, or maybe you want to make it stronger? There's some exercises that you can do. For example, journaling really helps. I don't know if any of you heard the Artist Way. She has a suggestion of doing pages, your morning pages every day. That also helps with getting in touch with your intuition, because it really helps clear your brain fog and any anxieties or mind chatter, even, like to-do list and reminders. You can kind of get that all out of the way so you can focus on the now and the present. There's also meditation that you can do. Again, that helps kind of clear your mind. It relaxes your body, releases tension. And if you're not big on meditation, there's all of sitting still and just trying to empty your mind. There's all kinds of guided meditations you can do on YouTube. Aren't that long. There's also moving meditation, which is things like yoga, even gardening and washing dishes. As long as you're focused and relaxed in what you're doing, it's a type of meditation. Also, getting out and getting some fresh air to garden or hike, yard work, go to the beach, the lake, really just connect with nature. Also, you can connect with your intuition by just asking it a question, such as, what color is my best friend, shirt is my best friend wearing today? And then maybe text her for the answer. And just with those type of things, write your first answer down. So you can almost, make a game out of it and do some, playing prediction, a deck of cards, dice. If you're in a store, let your intuition guide you which line is moving faster. If your phone is ringing, before you pick it up, try to let it come to you who's calling you. I've done that. It's kind of fun. And then also, as the Jedi say, don't think, feel. So really kind of feel your way into it. If you try to overthink and overanalyze, you're doing it wrong. Just kind of let it flow, really. And then after that, kind of just get out of your own way. When you start to get some confirmation, you're getting in touch with your intuition, then don't start doubting it. Just go ahead and keep trusting yourself. Also, just some positive self-talk. So affirmations really help to build our confidence too. So how is all of this going to help you with your coaching and business management? How do you put all this together? Well, both intuition and instincts are equally important tools, and they're practical uses for feeling secure and safe. For example, maybe a client wants to meet you, and you're feeling, maybe I should meet in a public space, or maybe I shouldn't be giving them my personal information. Maybe they're a little too, invasive on your personal life. So it can really help protect you, your privacy, and your security as well. Also, intuition really helps you to reduce the struggle of making business decisions, especially if you're new at this and you have to worry about making decisions or agonizing over, the minutia details that often happens when you're, going into business, especially if things are just a matter of personal choice and it's not necessarily something you can look up. For example, which style of life coaching should I do? Should I, market it? Should I do word of mouth or digitally market myself? These are all personal choices, and I've known people who have done both. There are some really successful Reiki masters that are just word of mouth and that's it, and others have pages on social media and do really well. So it's just use your intuition to best find what your needs best serve you. Also, being intuitive really helps you build your confidence. Once you flex and strengthen your intuitive skills, you'll learn to trust yourself and have confidence in your capabilities. So it also will help you develop compassion, as most people who are intuitive are described as highly sensitive and have other abilities that help them connect with their family, their friends, and their community. So if you continue to develop your intuition, it'll only help you build on that compassion. It could also help you as a compass really find your way when you're stuck and you're unsure which direction to go to. And again, turn your cans into cans. So also, it could help you vet your clients. So sometimes, if you're, we're all going to be interviewing our clients to see whether or not we're a good fit. And sometimes someone looks good on paper, but maybe you have a feeling like, oh, maybe this person might be a little too, maybe I don't have maybe what they're looking for, maybe we're not a good fit. It really helps that intuitiveness, that gut feeling. To see, if a client is going to be maybe too high maintenance, for example, and, if a client is going to be maybe too high maintenance, for example, and just don't have that kind of energy. And some people do. So also could help you with your clients once you start working with them. Maybe they get stuck or they're resistant and they're not wanting to try new things. Or make excuses. You could use your intuition to figure out, okay, is there some fear behind that? Why are they being resistant? And you could help them take baby steps. So you could really kind of just, really help them further by tuning into what they really need. Also, there might be a time where, your client comes to you with a textbook problem. And it's all there on paper, and you're like, okay, I know I should be taking this step, but something feels like, I think I need to think about out of the box, or think in terms of different and unique ways. So that really helps to connect with people. So sometimes intuition will really nudge you out of logic and into out of logic and reason and into just new pathways and new ways of thinking. So my own practice, I rely very much on intuition. As a Reiki master or practitioner, you really have to be in tune with your client, let your hands guide you, and sometimes you pick up on things, so you really have to be in touch with your intuition. As an intuitive reader, again, you have to really rely on intuition, figure out, the answers, the questions that your client is coming to you with. Also, when my client's on the table, all kinds of things from like if their chakras are out, if there's emotions or pain. So there's all kinds of ways that intuition helps me out every day. Let's see, I do have a handout. It is in your book, and it has a list of all the, you don't have to bring it out if you want, but it has a list of the exercises that I told you about, as well as the website for Myers-Briggs if you're interested in taking the test. If you go through Myers-Briggs, it does cost money, but there are other places on the internet that you can take it. I do suggest that if you can't find a certified Myers-Briggs practitioner, just make sure that the answers, or excuse me, the questions should be statements, and they should be strongly agree, and they should be based on that. That's how that's a good way to find if it's a good test to take, the personality test. So, and I really do suggest it's a great tool. You really get to know yourself and also help you figure out what makes you tick and why you are the way you are. And eventually you might want to add it into your life coaching and help your clients really get to know themselves on a deeper level. And it can also help you even further insights into helping them and what makes them tick. So All right, thank you so much. And we're going to take a little break before our next speaker. And if anyone has any questions, just come ask me. So thank you.
Hello, my name is Rosa M. Luna with St. Paul's Free University, and I'm here to talk to you about energy healing. I have been using energy healing for over 23 years, and it all started with my mom, and 3 generations past her. My mother was a curandera, who is a healer in Spanish, who passed down some of the skills and abilities to me that I now use. Plus, I use other methods I learned from studying Reiki, from my Reiki master, Kathy B., who paid over $4,000 to earn her degree of Reiki, of 1, 2, and 3, and becoming a Reiki master and a teacher herself. So I too studied through her and became a Reiki master and teacher. I don't have a degree or a certificate to teach, just a big heart and desire to heal others with love. Now, I am a member of St. Paul's Free University, and I have my teacher certification through this university, and I'm studying to be a full-time instructor and mentor. What is Reiki, you may ask? Well, Reiki is a powerful healing energy, and is one of the forms of healing that can be used for oneself or others or anyone who has the desire to heal others. Reiki is pronounced Ray, like as in R-A-Y, Ki as in K-E-Y. And the Ray means universal, and it refers to the spiritual dimension of the soul. Ki means vital life force energy that flows through all living things. Like, for example, plants, fruit, nuts, vegetables, flowers, and there's many examples that contain energy. And when these are combined, Reiki, its meaning is universal life force energy. And it starts with laying of hands, which we use this as a technique, a healing technique, and it's been around for thousands of years. It is thought to have originated as a Tibetan Baptist practice that was rediscovered in late 1800s by Dr. Mikao Yusushi. I know I'm not pronouncing this name right. A Japanese Buddhist. This is a very simple yet powerful technique that can be easily learned by anyone. The universe, the space around us, is filled with endless and inexhaustible energy. It is a universal, pristine, and productive source of power and energy that also keeps us alive. Reiki is this natural healing energy that flows through the hands of the Reiki channel in a powerful and concentrated form. The energy is channeled through the hands of the practitioner into the body of the receiver. Because it is a universal source, energy, giving power, Reiki belongs to anyone who is ready to receive the gifts of healing hands. Reiki is effective wherever hands touch, because Reiki hands radiate healing energy at any time, in any place, and it has been experienced that it is my experience that when there is a person around me who needs healing, my hands actually get warm. It's good for when it's wintertime. Reiki supports medical treatments such as massages, foot reflexology, acupressure, acupuncture, chiropractic treatments, etc., etc. Reiki brings the body and mind into an even balance and works on all levels of the physical, spiritual, emotional, and soul levels. Reiki encourages self-healing. It strengthens the body and the soul. It rebuilds harmony and flows in an unlimited quantity. And it is a channel healing. Therefore, the Reiki practitioner's energies are never depleted. Additionally, because the healing Reiki energy is flowing through the practitioner during the treatment. Never use your own energy. Both client and practitioner receive the benefits. For this reason, always use the universal energy and not your own when giving a treatment. It always increases one's energy and leaves one surrounded with loving feelings of well-being. Reiki is not a religion. It beholds no doctrines, creeds, or contradictions to the universal law of consciousness and love. No matter where the person may be at a certain point in their lives, Reiki will harmonize and embrace their physiological center point, adding to it the divine presence. Once an individual is attuned to Reiki through initiation, like studying and you're ready to get attuned, I will happily pass attunements. I have passed hundreds of attunements in my over 23 years of being a Reiki master and a teacher. So, after that, we are permanently linked without the need of conscious alterations of the mind. Either through meditation, prayer, or imaging, simply placing one's hands on ourselves or another person allows the energy to flow through the individual, then the practitioner, through our hands. And it fills the Reiki practitioner's body first, then flows throughout the practitioner's hands into the individual who is receiving the healing. Reiki is energy from the universe, source, or if I may, God, and it's an extremely powerful healing energy. It does not conflict with any other health care. Instead, rather it enhances its results. It does not interfere with traditional medical treatment, but facilitates benefits. Reiki also speeds the healing process and provides a source of restoring energy while one is ill or under medical treatment or in recovery. Reiki healing is pure energy. It's a pure energy form. When it is combined with the sincere desire of the receiver who is willing to effect a cleansing within their emotional and spiritual consciousness, a total healing can occur. Reiki is so wonderful. It is a wonderful tool for use at any moment, any time, anywhere, on the spot. Stress release, pain relief, and quick energy. In short, Reiki is a holistic self-help technique for directing natural life force energy to you or to the receiver. Through Reiki, you will experience the blessing spiritual growth and change. Reiki is a divine grace of the universal source, God, if I may use that word, immeasurable gift and a wonderful tool to help one develop conscious awareness, the very key to enlightenment. Like as in most things in life, like everything, Reiki must be experienced in order to be appreciated. You have to have that experience with Reiki. Allow me to demonstrate how powerful this energy is. So here I have a glass of water from the faucet. I want to show you the difference between, and this is just from the faucet. As you can see, my pendulum is not moving. If it moves a little bit, it's me. I'm a little bit shaky. Okay, so what I'm going to do to demonstrate this magical symbols, I'm going to put the symbols, the Reiki symbols, in the water. And I'm going to hold the glass just for a few seconds. And I will show you the difference. As you saw before, my pendulum was not moving. And now, see the energy? This is the Reiki energy life force from the sacred symbols that I just put in here in the glass. Ta-da! Magic, 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 magic. Now, because you think it was probably the glass, you might think that. I have this other glass, and I'm going to pour the water in there. I didn't do anything to that glass. And I will show you that it is the water. Ta-da! Because the symbols are still in the water. And now, does this glass have any magic to it? No. The pendulum is not moving. And if it's moving a little bit, that's me because I'm shaky. So when you put the symbols in the water, it has the energy force in the water. And when you drink it, now the symbols are inside me. The gut energy force, healing energy is in the water, and then you drink it, it's in you. And I want to also show you that you can do this to your vitamins. Look at the container of the vitamins is also not moving. So now let's put the Reiki sacred symbols in the vitamins. Okay, as you saw, there was no energy to the bottle or to the vitamins. And now look, so when you take these vitamins, it'll be enchant, it'll enchant, oh look, it's really moving. It'll really enchant the ability of the vitamins. So let's do the same thing we did with the water. Let's take them out and put them on the table because my hands have energy on them. So you can see, I'm going to move this aside. And there you go. So using my imagination, I put the symbols, the sacred symbols on the vitamins. And look at that. Take one of these babies and I'll become Superwoman. So there you go. Magic. You can use the sacred symbols on your vitamins also. Your vitamin and medications, it enchants them. So respectfully, you can use the sacred symbols on many things. There's many benefits from the Reiki energy source. It supports the body's natural ability to heal. It vitalizes the body and the soul. It balances the organs and glands. and their bodily functions, reestablishes spiritual equilibrium and mental well-being, promotes creativity. It cleanses the body of toxins. It relieves pain, very important. It strengthens the immune system, adjusts itself according to the needs of the recipient body energy. It also enhances meditation. It is an extremely pleasant, holistic method of healing. Thank you very much for listening to me today. My name is Rosa M. Luna, and you can reach me at rosamluna.com. Thank you very much. Take care.
Hi folks, nice to have you with us today. Thank you for listening to our wonderful, we hope, training for teachers, and we hope that you will agree that at the end of this you'll have some really great tools to be teaching your own students and classes and generating a lot of knowledge and understanding in the world. That's what we'd like to see. Anyway, my name is Lolo Lesser, and I would like to be your trainer for today. I'm going to be talking about learning styles. I've been doing my own trainings and helping with groups, as well as facilitating groups and developing trainings. It's a wonderful thing to do, and my biggest fun thing is developing tricks and ways of engaging people to start with. Icebreakers, that's my favorite, because you've got to get started well. So I've been doing this stuff for about 30 years, and I am also a personal life coach as well as a trainer and consultant, and I consult with organizations as well as families and individuals. So if you'd like to give me a call, my website is lololesser.com. Again, that's lololesser.com, just the way it sounds. And I will look forward possibly to hearing from you. It's kind of hard to be talking to a webcam. I'm sorry we can't do this live. I really like having people in front of me. But I'm going to have to imagine you out there. That's what I'm going to do. So thank you for being here again. Welcome. So we are going to start. First of all, we need to realize that when you're teaching, it is an empathic process. You need to be looking at your students and noticing, first of all, their response mode, because occasionally you'll get people in front of you who look like they have they're like deers in the headlights, and that is not going to be a good learning mode. And also if they're in some kind of flight or fight mode, which can happen with young students especially, or they really need to get beyond that, and it's a teacher's job to do some kind of relaxation. Tell a joke, be lighthearted or observant. You also will be imparting a sense of safety to the class. So without the sense of safety, there's no way that they can learn. In order for learning to occur, there needs to be a sense of safety. A social engagement mode is actually required so that they can engage with you. And then beyond that, it's great to look at that learners come with different natures and nurtures and different biological imperatives, different experiences, and different learning styles. So the more learning styles that you can accommodate within your lesson teaching, the more effective is your teaching. And of course, that's what we want to be, is effective teachers. So we're now talking about a model of 5 learning styles and 2 modes. So that makes altogether really 5 learning styles, and they all combine with the 2 different modes. We have a visual learning style, a logical learning style, a oral learning style, which is AURAL, that's listening, music, a verbal learning style, and a physical learning style. And then, in addition, social, interactive learning style, or solitary learning style. So mostly we're going to want to get involved with all of those, but I'm going to start with the visual. Is quite obviously spatial pictures, and oral is auditory, musical, verbal, linguistic, speech. Physical is, and then in addition, social, interactive learning style, or solitary learning style. So let's start with visual. You prefer using, this is the learner, prefers using pictures, images, and spatial understanding. And examples are diagrams, maps, photographs, slides, videos. And that's what hopefully we've got going here. The oral is, as I mentioned, auditory musical, and that's using sound and music, which would be like jingles, tunes, sing-alongs. If you use the oral style, you like to work with sound and music. You have a good sense of pitch and rhythm, and typically you can sing, play a musical instrument, or identify the sounds of different instruments. And of course, certain music evokes strong emotions, so that's kind of nice. The verbal is what we're used to in teaching, and that's preferring using words in speech and writing. Examples would be, of course, lecturing, books to look at and read, reading books, writing notes. So as someone may be lecturing, someone is writing notes, that helps them to verbally learn. That's their learning style. Helping them, you use keywords, flip charts perhaps, and a PowerPoint presentation. The physical kinesthetic is using body, hands, and sense of touch. So if you can somehow include some kind of movement in there, maybe turning the page is even something, but some kind of involvement with the physical body, so that and some of these learners may use their body on their own. They may be like tapping on the table, and that's how they stay in touch with what their mind is listening to. And we get irritated sometimes listening to the noise, but you know what? That's how kids can help stay present and let their minds absorb. So a lot of tolerance is necessary. Logical, mathematical. So that's kind of obvious. That style is using logic, reasoning, and systems, kind of making a progression with whatever you're talking about, one at a time. Numbers included, lists, bullet points. That's a helpful thing for a logical style of learning. Now, the social, interpersonal, some people really prefer to learn in groups and with other people, and that would mean kind of like putting people in small groups as well as having a large classroom. So it helps people to bounce off of others, to absorb and regurgitate their learning quite often. It helps people to understand things when they hear someone else other than the teacher. Some people really prefer to learn in groups and with other people, and that would mean kind of like putting people in small groups as well as having a large classroom. So it helps people to bounce off of others, to absorb and regurgitate their learning quite often. It helps people to understand things when they hear someone else other than the teacher saying things, and a different level of understanding penetrates. And with solitary learning, they prefer to study alone and use self-study. And I know I actually am one of those kind of learners. I would sit through the class, take notes, but then I'd have to think about it on my own after the class to be able to absorb, for example, math concepts. So now there's lots of other styles of learning, and we are learning more and more that different people are absorb learning in different ways. A naturalist is a kind of style of learning, as well as a person who enjoys nature, but they learn by working with and experiencing nature. So if you can be outside and bring the outside into your teaching, and that is something that helps people integrate learning and understand. It's a good thing. Other student activities that can help promote learning. So we mentioned helping students relax helps learning. So sometimes it's worthwhile to stop when students are upset over something and discuss it. For example, our coronavirus stuff. It's maybe better to talk about it a little bit and just get people to get their feelings out and have a place where they can express themselves. And then your learning will not be wasting time, because you will actually be allowing them to step into something other than what their feelings have been keeping them stuck with. So giving a little bit of humor to some of these situations is good too. Pictures of a lot of things have been coming on the internet that provides a lot of humor about all the toilet paper everybody's been gathering. So, you know, wherever we can get it, it helps us to survive and to relax and to learn. And we all need to learn. So anyway, and when we can promote that feeling of empathy and understanding, it leads to a deeper level of learning and, of course, understanding of the curriculum. So we can use empathy games, role-playing, writing diaries. If we're doing, this kind of depends on what you're teaching and what you're learning, but role-playing, writing diaries are really excellent ways, student activities. Also having a circle of just appreciation and acknowledgement, so people can talk about what they learned, what they appreciate about what they're learning, and this can help people to absorb what's going on and what they're learning. And sometimes that has to do with a class that's ongoing more than something that's a short-term class. But it's always good to get that at some point feedback from your students so that you can grow and learn. And when they bring up again their learning, that's how they learn it. And when they're going to be regurgitating it, when they're going to be saying it back to somebody else. So understanding that different environments are conducive to learning for different people, that's another point that we really need to make. Different environments are, some people are comfortable on couches, some need a table and chair to learn. So let's be open to the possibility that our new necessity of doing online learning might be allowing people the environments that are most conducive to their own learning. And we're going to develop a whole new way of having people learn. And hopefully they can gain community in that, because I know a lot of the activities I'm talking about are things that we're talking about with face-to-face students. So thinking of doing online classes where we don't have the face-to-face, it's harder. I'm having a hard time talking to a screen rather than talking to people in front of me. I really enjoy having people in front of me. So anyway, David Kolb was a brilliant man who thought a lot about how people learn. And this is the way that we can learn. Some people call it Kolb's learning styles, and it is actually also styles. For example, and also it's a learning continuum. So, but I just want us to notice that, for example, diverging might be the beginning. The first thing that we all do when we're learning is we feel and watch. And this is what artists do. Assimilating is kind of what nerds do. They think and watch. It's kind of a nerd sort of reaction. Converging is techies who are doing and thinking. And the last stage, I guess, is accommodating, which is kind of what consumers do. They're doing and feeling. So let's explain those and get into a little more detail about what they are. The first stage, which we arrive at when we're starting to learn something, is we're just kind of hanging out, feeling and watching, gathering information. We're using our imagination with what's being said or presented. And some of the activities that can help stimulate that feeling and watching and gathering information is brainstorming. So inviting people to put their ideas into of what they want to learn, or what the aims of the group are, of what things they think they might be learning, what their goals are in learning, or any of the other brainstorming about what the actual subject matter is as well is sometimes really useful. And you can also do activities in small groups that might be discussing and just talking about how you feel about the subject matter in some way. So the second step in Kolb's learning continuum is now assimilating, which is thinking and watching. Some of the things that you would do in that time after the brainstorming and thinking about things, then you're actually going to give your material. You're going to lecture. You're going to be perhaps telling stories. You're going to be perhaps doing some conversation that actually is going to be bringing forward the material. You might be modeling yourself what it is that you want done, what is the task that you're trying to teach people, and that they are going to be assimilating and watching and learning from you. And then after they have done that, you want to start having them start doing and thinking. So you might have some practical, technical tasking ideas. You might be giving some more stories, some examples of how to use whatever it is that you're talking about in different ways, experimenting with new ideas. So you might experiment with some of the learning material in ways and set up some activities that have practical applications. And this is where they're actually putting brass tacks together so that they can see how that the new knowledge can be applied practically. And then after that one, the fourth part of Kolb's learning continuum would be actually accommodating. So when you're accommodating, when you're guiding the learner to be accommodating, and that's really what each of these stages are. The learner is accommodating the new knowledge, and by doing and feeling, so they're going to be now, actually, this would be your task to set up them doing an intuition guiding hands-on, and this is the real experiential learning that Kolb felt was the most important stage to get to. So all of these other stages were to get you to actually experiencing and doing the step-by-step plans and looking at what the effect is, and seeing how you can yourself use the new knowledge. So and then of course after that you'd go back to diverging, because you're going to look and see what happened. So that's why it's a continuum that keeps going round and round. And that's it. And as you see, it's between perception and processing. So we want people to be able to do perceiving and feeling and noticing and thinking at the same time as processing, and that's processing is watching and doing. So they're getting to do the doing as they become more learned, and the experiential hands-on is what really helps learning to become part of who we are as the next person who has the knowledge of what you've taught. So you're contributing with all of your experience and your knowledge in teaching. So I hope this helps you to be successful in your future as a teacher, and let us know what more we can contribute. Thank you.
I have come from a blue-collar background, and I'm so thankful to be living in a better life, my best life, and making the world a better place through my work here at St. Paul's. Because I work in a lab in an educational institution that is not controlled by federal or state government, I get access to advanced, energetic, natural, and spiritual technologies and science, which you would never be able to have access to in any other kind of school setting. What I have found most amazing in my work so far, and you would be surprised at how fast these emerging sciences advance, so I might say something completely different next month. But right now, I am most impressed about how much control you have over your own DNA. What I have discovered is that everything is energy, and we all vibrate at certain frequencies. If I got you in the lab and hooked you up to my equipment, I could see exactly at what frequency you are vibrating at any given time. But you can tell this just by looking around your life too. If you look around your life, the life that you see all around you is a perfect representation of your vibrational frequency. The good news is that if you don't like the way your life is, you can change your frequency just like changing the channel on your radio or your television. Only you use the remote of your mind to change your frequency by using your thoughts, and your frequency makes your life the way it is. And this includes your biology. You actually have complete control over every cell in your body, right down to your DNA, which you can control and manipulate with the power of your thoughts. I know it sounds crazy, but this is really verifiable science. We have seen this over and over again, and if I worked for any other school or university, I couldn't tell you that we've seen people healed from all kinds of nasty diseases by just using the power of their thoughts to change their biology and their DNA. Today, I am going to give you a free tip that you can use from this date forward to change your vibration so that you can live a better life, your best life, and make the world a better place. Imagine all the things you want in life. Everything you ever wanted can be yours. Heck, if you want it, it's just already yours. All you have to do is to raise your vibration from where you are to where you want to be. I can tell you the fastest and easiest way to change your vibration. Well, the fastest and easiest way that worked for me was to do a search on YouTube for Abraham Hicks. If you can put yourself on a steady diet of Abraham Hicks, just listening to the words, you don't have to believe in anything, just kind of let the words flow over you. You will hear Abraham's words answering questions asked by regular people like you and me. Just listen to them. Don't judge. Don't believe anything. Just relax and absorb them. If you're anything like me, not long after you start listening to Abraham Hicks, you will start seeing things in your life change. And when you start seeing the difference and feeling better than you ever felt before, then you can start listening more to the content, evaluating, asking yourself questions, and arriving at your own conclusions, and seeing how living at a higher vibration frequency might suit you. And you can apply this to any area of your life. If you want more money, a bigger house, better job, or if you want to be the best teacher you can be, you can have it all. And all the power of your thoughts you never knew. We may meet again in the lab or in a class where I can demonstrate some of these new scientific technologies to you that you never would be able to have access to anywhere else. Thank you for joining us here today, and I hope you have the best life ahead of you after receiving your teacher's certification as you embrace your innate gifts and abilities to help others. My name is Juanita Holiday, and you can find out more about me at juanitaholiday.com. Thank you and have a great day.
Be an expert in your field. You've done a lot of work today and made a few discoveries about yourself. You are starting to wrap your mind and your heart around the idea that you are meant for something greater than you had previously allowed yourself to be. Now we have some more work to do. We're going to drill down and establish your area of expertise and brand you as an undeniable expert in your field. Now, like I said, you don't need to know it all or have all the answers, but what you do need is the experience. We've already established that you have that. You need to be able to want to help others so that they could have a chance to increase their quality of life. You need to be willing to take inspired action, to do the work, to set yourself up as a valuable resource and an expert in your field. And we're going to help you do that today. Remember, you don't have to know it all. Let's say you faced some difficulty and were able to make it to the other side. For example, maybe you went through foreclosure and your family was at risk of being thrown out in the street, but you were able to turn that situation around and you made it. There are people out there right now who are losing their homes and are at risk of being thrown out. Do they need you? Could you help them with that? Hell yes. You don't need to know more than anyone else about your topic. You just need to know more than the people who need what you have to offer. So you have 3 lists now, and you have a list of experiences where it clearly was not easy for you. You struggled, you made a stand against adversity, you persisted against the odds, and you lived to tell about it. You have a list of activities which settle into your power and another list of special gifts and abilities. You can teach someone else on any of those topics. You do not have to be the top expert in your field or know all the answers to have a massive impact on the world and make a lot of money teaching in your field of expertise. But you do need to know who you are, why you are here, what you have to offer, and to whom. So now we're going to take a look at your 90-second life story. Basically, I want you to reduce your life story down to a 1.5-minute monologue. You have 90 seconds to tell your story. Ready? Go. All right. I already know I'm looking out at a sea of deer in the headlight looks, except for a few of you who've already been through this process. So I'll tell you what, I'll go first. Let's say we're talking about branding me today. So somebody time me. So who am I? I don't know. Many years ago, I was born premature and was lucky enough to be one of the ones who survived. But I had a laundry list of learning disabilities and social dysfunction. But I was blessed to encounter so many challenges and obstacles in my life, and I had no other choice but to stand up and fight against the odds because my family depended on me. I was forced to become courageous. Life was never easy for me. Over time, I learned that my disabilities were actually my special abilities, and they helped me to see opportunities and to seize them passionately. So I have experienced a life rich in adversity, growth, change, and lived a life with more amazing experiences than most people. I was gifted with the ability to see people at their highest and best. And when no one else, not even they, could see their possibilities, I could see it all clearly and map. I could see the map to get them from here to there. And so I started my journey of helping others achieve their highest and best. I use my gifts and abilities to help people like you to live a better life, your best life, and make the world a better place. This is my life's mission. But it's not for everyone. I only help others who are passionate about what they want to accomplish in this life. Let's say you wanted to work with me. Then you would have to be able to see you like I'm able to see you at your highest and best. And if you're willing and able to do the work, then we can work together step for step and get you from where you are to where you want to be. That's what I do. What do you want out of this life? Now, I don't know how long that was, but somewhere around 80 seconds. So get to your note-taking equipment and write out your 90-second script, and I'll give you 5 minutes. Ready? Go. Okay, time's up. You don't have to complete this right now, but you do need to do this before you can effectively be a teacher or offer your assistance to others. Now let's take a look at your 20 to 30 second elevator pitch. Once you have your 90-second life story, you can whittle it down to what we call an elevator pitch, which is 20 to 30 seconds in length. Pretend like you just stepped into an elevator and you have 20 to 30 seconds to give your spiel. Like, I might trim mine down to go something like this. Hi, I'm David M. Masters. I'm a transfiguration specialist. I help people to envision and achieve their highest and best. I do this using innate special gifts and abilities combined with a lifetime of vast experiences, both which I've gone through personally, as well as from a lifetime of doing this work with others. In doing so, I help people like you transform that into a higher version of yourself, enabling you to live a better life, your best life, and make the world a better place. Okay, now it's on you. Take 5 minutes to refine what you do for others, your area of expertise, and whittle it down to 20 to 30 second speech. Ready? Go. You're probably wondering what I'm up to here, why I'm moving you through these processes, and those of you who have taken my Branding Masters course, you know exactly what's coming up, because right now we're downshifting into making you an expert in your field. Now I want you to be ready in that moment when lightning strikes for you to become a worldwide phenomenon, when you get your 15 minutes of fame. For you online, if we were live, we'd take a few minutes and go around the room and listen to sob stories when students could have had access to huge media event, but they were not prepared. From this point in time on forward, you will be ready. What am I talking about? I'm talking about that moment in time when you're walking down the street, minding your own business, and you hear alarms and see a bank robbery in progress. Just as the news van pulls up. The talent and cameramen are going to jump out of the van, spot you, with the intent of asking you about the event. You'll get a microphone shoved in your face, and they'll ask you, "What's your name?" Then they'll ask you, "What do you do?" And then they will ask you what you saw. And starting at that exact time and continuing for at least up to 72 hours, people are Googling your name and what you do. This is the world we live in. Those of you who are joining us online tonight, when that happens to you, you'll be ready. If you have the answers to these two questions, and trust me, you think you might have the answers, but you don't, unless you've taken my class before. Let's take a look at the first one, your name. There's a pretty good chance that your name, the name you go by now, is never going to work for you. Why? Because you do not own yourname.com. Why do you think I introduced myself as David M. Masters? Why don't I just use the name David Masters without the M? Well, because davidmasters.com wasn't available. Someone else already had that, so I had to go get davidmmasters.com because it was available. And if it wouldn't have been, I would have tried davidmichaelmasters.com. If that wasn't available, I would have gotten some other variation like Davidario Masters, if I could get that davidariomasters.com, and I would have changed my name to that. So your assignment is to search for available.coms and acquire a name that you can live with for the rest of your life. And if you're one of the lucky ones, there's always at least one, usually a few more, who can get their name.com on the first try. If so, good for you. All right, you're getting me? Good. Let's keep rolling. How about your answer to what do you do? It's not going to be an easy answer, as you might think. Why? Let me give you a hint. We just talked about it. Now you got it. You got to get the .com that says what you do. And of course, a whole world of people have beat you to the punch on that one. So you're going to have to get even more creative to find a something.com that you will represent what you do. We can use me as an example again because I eat my own cooking. I'm a transfiguration specialist. Any idea why I'm a transfiguration specialist? Yeah, you know. I got transfigurationspecialist.com, and since I have the ability to see people at their highest best and map from here to there, it's a perfect name for what I do. Plus, I'm the only transfiguration specialist out there. Unless I've trained you to be one too, which is a whole other topic about branding yourself and multiplying your gifts and abilities by duplicating your efforts and training others to do the work that you do. So you get those two .coms, who you are and what you do. And when lightning strikes, you'll be ready, even if you have only rudimentary websites out there. And here's another tip for owning what you do.com from one of my students. He called into a national radio talk show to comment on a topic. They asked him two questions. What is your name and what do you do? Only on the show, they only introduced him by his first name, and that was their policy. But when they announced what he did, he talked for a few minutes, and as soon as he finished his talk, his phone started ringing, and it kept ringing for the next 72 hours. He could not have paid enough money for that kind of promotion. Now, you are accessible, but you're not really a recognized expert. So there's one more piece which is going to put you over the top in your area of expertise. You've probably already talked about it, or maybe someone who's close to you has already given you this advice, but today you're putting this project into motion. Let me ask you this. Have you ever said, I could write a book? Or has anyone ever said, you could write a book? Now, at first blush, writing a book sounds like a daunting task, but don't let that get in your way. This is your life's calling, your purpose, message, passion, and mission. People are desperate to hear what you have to say, and some of them have lives hanging in the balance. There's no better way to establish yourself as an expert in your field as in the writing and publishing of a book. And as the author of a book on what you do, or something that you believe in, is the fastest and easiest way to undeniably establish yourself as an expert. There are many ways to write a book quickly. I've interviewed a client for 8 hours, wrote and published a book from that interview. While my students watched, I wrote and published a book, and students could walk into any Barnes & Noble in the world and most other bookstores and get that book in less than 72 hours. Bam! And it's not just because I'm anyone special. It's really just because I'm courageous. And if I've learned anything in this life, if someone tells me I can't do something, well, I probably can. And if someone dares me to do something, like my students who dared me to write that book in 72 hours, well, you got to take the dare, right? And I'm the author of the 7-Day Author. You can write and publish your book in 7 days. And no, I haven't written a book about the 72-hour deals. So decide as quickly as possible on a title for your book. Make sure it contains one or more keywords that relate to you and what you do, and put it on your name.com website. Put on there that you're the author of the upcoming book, the name of your book, and what you do. You can get traction and increase your credibility just by saying you're working on the book, as it's a work in progress and has yet to be published. It's a lot easier and faster to write and publish a book today, and it doesn't have to be a literary masterpiece. Here's another hot tip for establishing you as an expert and racking up your credibility even more while empowering you to write your book quickly and easily. Write a blog. A blog is like an online diary or space where you share your thoughts on particular topics. Your blog posts are accessible by others who Google you or the topics you write about. Blog 500 words every day for a month, maybe a month and a half, and you've got your book. Put them together and publish your book on Amazon for free. There you go. Buy one copy of the book, take a picture of you holding the book, put that picture on your website with the link to your Amazon book. Bam! You're an expert in your field. Now to review, the 5 steps to be an expert in your field blueprint, they are: your 90-second life story, your 20 to 30-second elevator pitch, your name.com, whatyoudo.com, and write and publish your book. Start your new career today. At St. Paul's Free University, we specialize in making you the master of your story, your life, and your message by making you an expert in your field. Not only do we give you the tools to become an expert in your field, but if you become a part of our team, we also provide a power platform for you to be able to help others exponentially and to be remunerated for your efforts handsomely. You're under no obligation to work with us. This event is our gift to you because the world needs you now more than ever. But if we're a match, and you want to help us, help you, and others achieve their highest and best, then by all means, don't let anything stand between us here today. Today you have everything you need to get started teaching while embracing your gifts, skills, and special abilities as only you can as an expert in your field. Be sure to send an email to admin@stpaulsfreeuniversity.com and give us your full name, the way you'd like it to appear on your certificate, and your mailing address, and we will send you your teacher certification to verify your attendance here today and to empower you to step out, share your message, and live out your life's purpose. If you'd like to start a new career as an instructor at St. Paul's Free University, taking an active part in all the latest emerging technologies while singing your song as only you can with the support of all of us lifting you up and supporting your efforts with everything we have, then you want to take our Instructor Masterclass, which will launch your new career into orbit in a powerful way. Now, the Masterclass is not free. It's $5,000 for the 10-week course, but because you're here with us today, we're in this together. I mean, we're here amidst this coronavirus crisis. We're all in the same boat. We're settled in and may find ourselves sheltered in place at any moment. So here's what we're going to do today. If you decide to join us today and enroll in our Instructor's Masterclass, we're going to let you attend the classes for $1,000. That's $100 per week, and you can pay as you go. And I'll tell you what, I'll make it even better for you. If you pay up front for all 10 weeks, you get $100 off if you do that today. And if you're enthusiastic about working with us and know other people who might like to join us, we'll give you $100 credit toward your course for every person that you bring online. So you could get your classes for free just by inviting your friends. And if this is your calling and you're at a place where it's just not possible to afford this powerful Instructor's Masterclass, scholarships are available as well. Just let one of us know and we'll get you started on that path. And if you haven't taken one of our classes, you may have no idea what's ahead. But this thing I know, you'll be amazing. And you'll have all of our resources for you to use in support of your purpose, message, passion, and mission. This is a no-fail proposition. St. Paul's Free University is not like other leading learning institutions where you pay a lot of money to sit in class and learn from a professor who's just coasting along in life because they paid their dues or have a sense of entitlement. You're not going to just walk away with a degree left to your own devices to figure out what to do with it. You're becoming a part of our team, and we're becoming a part of yours. But there will be work. There are no fraternity parties, though we like to have fun. And you'll be able to learn valuable tools and techniques in new and different ways that you wouldn't have access to anywhere else. So if you really want to take the next step and start that next chapter in your life, then sign up today, save some money, empower yourself to live a better life, your best life, and make the world a better place. I'm David M. Masters with St. Paul's Free University, and I hope you'll join me for our next Instructor Masterclass. And if you'd like to know more, you can contact any of our instructors here today, or you can get a hold of me at davidmmasters.com. Go forth with all your gifts and special abilities and help those who are in desperate need of what you have to offer and make the world a better place.